everyone, it's Lauren and I have a really special, exciting unboxing for you today. The Longlist books have arrived. Yes, we can start our man book of vlogging. Obviously we all know what's been longlisted this year, so this wouldn't be much of a surprise. So what they have done is put all of the longlisted books but one in this big box, and then we have a separate package. Like, so I have a different package to Jen and Jean, and everyone else is going to have a different separate package. This contains one book from this year's longlist and a previous Man Booker backlisted book and some other little bookish gifts and things, I think, which I think we're going to enjoy. So this is really exciting. What I'm going to do is open the big box first and try and see if my memory serves me well that I'm going to be able to guess what's inside this box. So let's get going. I hope I don't damage the books. That would be embarrassing. Oh, I can see them all, they're so pretty. Okay, cool. Oh, I love it, I love it. Okay, so the first one we have right on top is Sleeping on Jupiter by Anuradha Roy. I don't know too much about the exact story of this, but I do know it's about India and about women, I think either in India and I think other women who are trying to go on holiday back to India. I'll read a little bit of the blurb at the top. A train stops at a railway station. A young woman jumps off. She has wild hair, sloppy clothes and a distracted air. She looks Indian, yet she is somehow not. The sudden violence of what happens next leaves the other passengers gasping. Exciting. Number one. Oh, the next one we have is The Chimes by Anna Smile. I've heard of this before. I think there are a lot of surprises, at least for me, on the long list this year. I think a lot of people were surprised about all the books that were chosen, and very few had I heard of beforehand. This was one of them. And this is actually a young adult book, from what I can gather. I've certainly seen this on other people's booktube channels, and it's about a world and about music, and where music distorts your memory, I think. And I remember this sounding incredibly creative and amazing, and I believe the author as well does have a background in music. So I've been really looking forward to reading this one. This is one I've been waiting for. What do we have next? Oh, The Green Road by Anne Enright. I read The Gathering by Anne Enright, which won the Man Booker Prize a few years ago, and I really enjoyed that. It's about an Irish family coming together after a long time apart and dealing with the troubles of their past and past traumas and relationships that have been broken, and I really enjoyed that. I believe, again, this is a kind of Irish family story. Oh, this is The Fisherman by Chigozie Obioma, who is a Nigerian author. This is about brothers, I think, and their father, the relationship with the brothers and their father, and I think there's two older brothers that have a feud, and yes, that's how much I know about it. I don't want to know too much about all of these books before going in and reading them, because obviously I feel like they've been chosen for a reason, and I'm really excited to sort of go on my own journey to discover them and what I think about them. So I know a very brief overview about each of them, but not too much, which I want to kind of keep it that way, I think. What have we got? Now we have The Illuminations by Andrea Hagen. The title of this book always reminds me of The Luminaries by Anna Catton, but The Illuminations actually refers to the Blackpool Illuminations, which is a seaside town in the UK, if you don't know what Blackpool is, and it's about a grandmother, I think, or a woman and her grandson, and they live around Blackpool, and yeah, sounds like a kind of family secrecy kind of book. There's lots of, I feel like there's lots of family things going in the ones that I've got through so far. Like these, that's the theme I'm sensing, kind of family. Oh dear, oh god. A Little Life. I've started reading this on my Kindle because, oh my god, look how big it is, and I just thought I've got to get a head start because this is going to take me a really long time to read, and it is destroying me. I know this is one of the ones that I was not surprised at all was on the long list. There's been a lot of hype surrounding this, and a lot of people, even before they knew that it was going to be on the long list, were like, it has to win, and I feel like it's very heartbreaking. It's about 4 young men living in New York and kind of how their lives change. I mean, it's about all of them, but it's kind of about one of them in particular, and I'm not even halfway through, and I'm just, oh my god, I love it. I feel like a lot of these are going to have really hard topics actually. I feel like that is a Man Booker theme, so maybe I'm going to be quite distressed throughout the next couple of months. Ooh, The Moors Account. This is, sorry, I'm like, it's like I'm talking to myself, I'm forgetting that people are watching it. The Moors Account by Leila Lamy, and this is about, I think it's one of the conquistadors or something. It's people going to South America, or a failed attempt. Yeah, Spanish conquistadors arriving on the coast of modern-day Florida. And so this is historical fiction, and we do have accounts of this real-life event which happened, but the only accounts that we have are from the kind of rich conquistadors from Spain, and there was a Moroccan, I don't know if he was a slave, yes, a Moroccan slave who went with them. And so this is Leila Lalami's version of what he might have thought. So it's his version of that journey. So this seems really different to me to all the other ones that are long listed, it being historical fiction. This and The Chimes actually are kind of some sort of coming out of left field books. So yeah, this one sounds really interesting to me as well. Ooh, ooh. I think I've guessed what's in my package. and if I'm right, they know me really well. Before we get to that though, I have got A Brief History of 7 Killings by Marlon James. This I think is set in Jamaica, and it's kind of about the mob. I know that Jean has started reading this, or she's listening to it on audio, a book I think, and she's like, yeah, it's like I'm not very far through, and like more than 7 people have died already. So this sounds pretty brutal. I think it's told from multiple perspectives. Flicking through, actually, it does look it's very interesting. I don't know if you can see that. That one's kind of, that looks like it's in verse, that section. Another cheery book for my pile. Next we have Satan Island by Tom McCarthy. What's this one about? I've just read the blurb to this book and I still don't really understand what it's about. It's about a corporate anthropologist. This is one of the only ones that I have heard people talk about it, and I still don't really understand what it's about. So that is going to be a really interesting book. Let's have a flick through. What's really interesting is that this is written in numbered sections. I've got 8.6, 8.7, 8.11. Wow, this is going to be really interesting. This is, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but I'm excited to read it. We're nearly there, guys, we're nearly there. The next one I have is Lila by Marilyn Robinson. This is the third in a series, or at least kind of companion novels. The first one of those being Gilead, the second one being Home. In preparation for this, I read Gilead last week, and I absolutely loved it. And in reading Gilead, I have worked out who Lila is, which means that I am really excited to read Lila now. And the last one in my box is Did You Ever Have a Family by Bill Clegg. So Bill Clegg is a literary agent in New York, and this is his first work of fiction himself. So this is a really interesting one, and I have really mixed feelings going into this book, because part of me feels like, was this just chosen because expectations of this book were quite low? Because being a literary agent doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a very good writer. I mean, I read a lot. I'm not going to write a book. Those are two different skill sets. So part of me thinks, is it just okay, but they had really low expectations and that's why it's been chosen? Or is it actually really good? And this is just an incredible, multi-talented guy. This is about a woman who, I think right at the beginning of the book, there's a terrible, terrible incident and her whole family dies. I mean, the title is Did You Ever Have a Family? We've got a little burning house on the front of the cover. So again, I'm feeling like this is going to be quite a soul-destroying book, probably, but it's something that I am really intrigued by, and I'm really interested to read this author's debut novel. Goodbye, box! So now I know exactly what is in my package, and I'm so happy because this is the book that I've already read and I really, really, really love. Oh my god, this is so exciting. It's all wrapped up. Look, it's in Man Booker wrapping paper. Right, I think this is going to be I know it's got to be A Spool of Blue Thread by Anne Tyler, which I read a few months ago. Oh, yeah, it is. And I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. It's family saga. It's the only one of the Man Booker long list that I've already read. And I'm quite pleased because I read it on my Kindle, so now I'm going to have an actual hard copy of it. Ooh. Oh, that's adorable. That is so adorable. They gave me thread. Oh, now I can sew. There's also blue thread in there. Look, a little spool of blue thread. Let me read the note that it comes with. This novel is set in a Baltimore house where the Whitshank family have lived for 3 generations. Tyler sews together a complex narrative where the mundane becomes magical. Oh, that's so sweet. Look at that. And here's a beautiful look at the book itself. This is a family saga that kind of unwinds back, like the proverbial thread unwinds backwards. So you kind of start with the children, you get their parents, then their grandparents' histories, and it's just so delightful. So I really enjoyed this book, so that's a really good choice. But what else is in here? What else? Oh, okay, look. Oh, I've got a bag. Oh, that's pretty. A tote bag. Oh yeah, well, that's fantastic. Always could do with a tote bag. They are so handy for putting books in. Look, here's the quote on the front from Orlando. Oh, what a pretty gift. Thanks, Man Booker. So this is the other book. So this, I have no idea what this is. This is a book which they thought we would enjoy from the back catalogue, so something that has been shortlisted or longlisted or won, I suppose, in the past. And it's J.M. Coetzee, Disgrace. Oh my goodness. A book from the Man Booker backlist we think you'll like, winner of the '99 Man Booker Prize. Ooh, fantastic. I haven't read this either, so that's really good. After years reading romantic poetry at the Technical University of Cape Town, David Lurie, middle-aged and twice divorced, has an impulsive affair with a student. Ooh. The affair sours. He is denounced and summoned before a committee of inquiry. Willing to admit his guilt but refusing to yield to pressure to repent publicly, he resigns and retreats to his daughter Lucy's isolated smallholding. I feel like I can see why they chose this, because this sounds to me quite a similar sort of American, not quite perfect family situation, perhaps kind of similar to A Spool of Blue Thread. I'm really pleased it's a book that I haven't read. I was really worried, I'm not going to lie, that it would have been something that I've read already, so that is fantastic. So there we go, that's my unboxing. Shall we see if I can pick them up? Let's try. Let's see if I can put them all on camera at once. Oh dear. Ready? Woo! The Man Booker Longlist, guys. Check that out. Oh my goodness. So now that we have our books, we can really get reading, get reviewing, get discussing and making a load of Man Booker vlogger videos in earnest. If anyone's read any of these books already, I would be really interested to hear which ones you would recommend that I start with. I'm obviously getting away through A Little Life and I've already read A Spool of Blue Thread, but all of these others I'm just completely excited to read, and I just don't know where to start really, because they all sound really interesting in really different ways. So would definitely appreciate your thoughts and your comments. I put them down, that wasn't happening anymore, just know. So thanks for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye! I'm quite conflicted with this book because I quite liked a lot of the writing. I liked the elements of magical realism that are in it. I just don't like this technique in general, and that's when you have a nameless male narrator talking about a woman, and it's her story, but she's like this kind of manic pixie dream girl and he's kind of interpreting